All right, here I am at my local bike repair shop here in Memphis, Tennessee. Got my mask on, getting ready to go in. Gonna take it in, see what the guys think about it, and we'll let you know from there, all right? Here we are, all about bikes in Memphis. Again, your local bike shop. These guys are pretty good. So, here's the Ozone Gira, all right? Just got it, again, straight from Academy Sports, and we're gonna let's see what the pros say about it. Let's go on in. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Good deal, good deal. These guys down here and all about bikes in Memphis, Tennessee, constantly staying busy. Bikes galore out here.
That's Greg. He's my head mechanic.
All right, Greg.
Right here.
Here we go, Greg.
He's gonna show you exactly why you buy a bike.
Exactly.
Bike shop.
So, Greg, this is the deal. Just got this from Academy Sports yesterday, and they're telling me the bike is good and ready to go, but I always recommend and have been told to ask the professionals like yourself. So, just looking for your full assessment on how well the bike is built and if it really truly is built to your specs as a professional.
It's just what I got ready. Touch it and ready.
So you can see. Yeah, you can move it if you need to. So what is it that you're checking, Greg, on those gears?
Well, I'm seeing if they're tuned right.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure they hit all the gears, they shift fast, if the cables have been stretched. A lot of bike shops don't stretch their cables.
Right.
So what you want to do is you want to get it up in the big rings when the cable's tightest. And you want to stretch that cable out a little bit by hand. Otherwise it'll do it the first month or two while you're riding, and then everything will come out of adjustment.
Oh, okay.
So we stretch cables here to prevent that from happening. The brakes aren't really centered.
No.
It slows down kind of quick.
Mm-hmm.
And one pad is moving more than the other. They should both be moving at the same time.
Okay, good.
It's precision, you know, we do precision work here. That's the difference.
Right, exactly.
This guy brings in a $5,000 bike. He's doing a half Ironman next month. It's got to be perfect.
Right.
I mean, it has to be perfect. So, not that this has to be perfect or this has to be perfect, but we know what perfect is.
Right, right.
Most shops, they don't know what
Right.
perfect is, you know.
And I would think regardless of what the cost of the bike is, when you bring it, they bring it in for service for you, you want to make sure that every bike is set perfectly, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it takes a few more minutes to make it perfect. I don't know why guys don't take the time to just spend the extra couple minutes and make it perfect. Like, this doesn't even, look at all that resistance you're fighting while you're pedaling.
Right, right,
There
right.
goes wattage, you know, right out of the...
Energy leaks.
Yeah, yeah, the brakes aren't centered at all.
Okay.
Let's see how the pointer really is. Not falling down into the low gear. Very slow.
Yeah.
So it wasn't test ridden.
Okay.
Whoever built this just put it all together and said next.
Right.
They didn't go ride it. They didn't put it under any real world stress.
Right.
You know, every bike rides pretty good in the stand.
Right.
But the minute you're out there actually pedaling and putting force on the chain, the gears, and everything, that's when you need your bike to work right.
Right.
Nobody's sitting up here riding their bike.
Right. And not only that, but you're not going to get a full actual test ride in the store with the bike.
See how slow that is? It's not even
Right.
shifting.
Yeah, so that should have shifted gears by that.
Oh, it should go just like that. Boom.
Okay.
See that? See how fast it falls?
Right.
That's how it goes. It should go into the next gear that fit. That was better. But I'm stretching the cable out too a little bit,
Right.
so that's helping.
Yeah, I should have went down by there.
Yeah, way too slow.
Okay.
The brakes aren't centered, the cables aren't, the wheels aren't even straight. They're a little bit out of true.
Okay.
Again, it just boils down to, you know.
So with
I
the
mean, if this guy got this for Christmas and he put it together in his living room for his son, you did a great job.
right, right,
But for a place that is selling this assembled,
right. No, right.
these
So
are going to stretch out too. Like that move, this bolt wasn't even tight. The whole cable just moved.
just came all the way up. Yep.
It moved through that pinch bolt.
Yep.
So now they're super loose.
Right.
It's another thing. We'll run a cable over the brake, get the brake centered, and then we'll do this to stretch
Just
that
stretch it
cable
out. Right.
so it doesn't do it while you're riding.
Yeah.
Now,
I see it back
because
there.
that'll happen like, you know, within a month. Now you've just bought a brand new bike and this is what your brakes feel like.
Yeah.
They go
That's,
all the way to the bar. It should never touch the handlebar.
yep.
That's way too loose.
Okay. So, with your service and your assessment on that, if you were to give a rating, let's just say, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10,
Yeah.
10 being, hey, the bike is perfect, it's ready to
That's
go,
what we do.
to a 1, which was like, oh, it's bad. I mean, what would your rating be from a scale of 1 to 10?
Probably about a 6.
6. Yeah, yeah.
And I would say that's average. You
Right.
know, for me, a lot of times they'll put the mount the fork in reverse.
Mm-hmm.
So this fork is facing backwards, the bars are facing forward. Okay, now you just went down to like a 3.
Right.
Because you didn't even know what way
You
the
didn't,
fork
exactly,
went.
right.
You know? We see that.
Right.
I mean, we see that. People
Right.
read, oh, I got this at Dick's or whoever. I don't know if I should say names.
No, don't worry about it.
You know, or we got it at Walmart. Or we got
Yeah.
it
So
at
let me ask you this. Have you seen this bike before?
No, I haven't. Oh, I've seen the brand Ozone.
Ozone,
I've
yeah.
seen a lot of those.
Yeah, so this is a brand new bike from Academy Sports. They just got this one on the market recently here in 2020. And looking at this bike with the specs that it has, the Shimano's, the XCTs 303s, and some of the things that you had. I mean, what do you think the cost on a bike like this would be?
Probably about $450.
$450?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a little cheaper because of the brand. Like, if you were to buy a Haro or a Redline or a Diamondback with these same components, and a lot of them have the same components,
Yep.
it would be at least $450.
Yeah.
Ozone's kind of an off-brand, might be a little budget-friendly. I don't
Yep.
know.
Yep.
But
So the bike that this is compared to, which I've seen compared to, is what is that? The GTR, GT or
GT.
yeah, the GT, and that runs about 475, 500.
Yeah.
Academy Sports has this Gira on sale now for 350. That bike right there, as
makes
is,
sense.
the other day, 350.
sense.
Yeah. So you think that's a pretty good buy, good price for what you're seeing?
Well, not if you have to take it to a bike shop a week later and give them $75
Right.
to tune it up for
So
you.
that's the difference right there, is with the
Yeah.
tuning up and everything like that.
It's
So
really the tuning, This is like a guitar or a piano.
Right,
It's not
right.
just something you just put parts on and tighten everything tight.
Exactly.
And it works.
Yep.
It's not a car, Like
yeah.
it's like that's way too loose.
Okay, so with All About Bikes being here in Memphis, Tennessee, and your expert service, so what would it cost to have the bike tuned properly?
$75.
$75?
$75. So it was $350. You said?
Yeah.
So now you're $425. Still cheaper than the Haro or the GT or the Redline,
Right.
But extra hassle. You just bought a bike and I got to get it tuned up. Like that makes no sense.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
But
Like,
that's the reason why we're doing what we're doing, just to
Yeah.
find out, hey, there's an additional cost to get the bike to where it needs to be.
Yeah.
So,
I used to tell people, like, you're going to buy a department store bike, go to Toys R Us. They're the only ones that will sell you a bike that's still in the box.
yeah,
Bring that box to a bike shop and let a bike shop put it together.
right,
Because it's not a great bike to begin with, and then they don't even put it together right. So you're just heading for problems
right,
right out of the gate.
right.
So at least get that thing assembled and tuned properly, and then you really shouldn't have too many problems with it, as long as you take it easy. But this is a really nice bike. I mean, I would have a lot of fun on something like this.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Well, that's
Not-
something that
not
we'll
really
definitely
real
get back
right.
to Academy Sports from an expert to say, hey, look, you're selling a bike at a good cost, but then if I got to pay $75 or more to
Yeah.
get it tuned right, maybe you should knock that price off from your price from the get-go.
I know what they're gonna do.
Exactly.
Just get a good mechanic.
Yeah.
I mean, like, A lot of shops will have the new guy build bikes.
Yeah.
That's kind of backwards.
Right.
I think the guy with the most experience should be building the bike.
Yeah.
You know, or at least the $500 and above
Yeah.
should be built by. You know, I got 30 years experience.
Right.
You know what I mean? I can do this with my eyes shut better than most people can.
Yep.
With all the tools in the world and all the YouTube and
Yep.
all the.
I got you. Well, good deal.
This is, I mean, just test ride your bike, man. Like,
Yeah.
they would avoid a lot of this if they were to just go ride it.
Yeah.
They probably wouldn't, irregardless, they would probably never stretch the cables.
Mm-hmm.
You know, most bike shops offer a 90-day tune-up after you buy the bike because
Right.
it is somewhat natural for these cables to stretch. They're braided. The more
Right.
you use them, the tighter that braid gets,
Okay.
and it lengthens the cable. Maybe just a few millimeters, but it's enough to throw this click off.
Yeah.
And now it's shifting slow. You do this, it goes.
Yeah. Exactly.
So we want to
Okay.
get these cables stretched out. So that's, you know, you shouldn't have to wait 90 days for all that to happen. It should,
Right.
it should leave here in great shape.
Well, that's good to
You bring
know.
it back in 90 days, and it should be a real simple thing, you know.
Exactly. Well, there you go, folks. You got it from a professional. Great cost on the bike, and great bike to have. But you know, you're looking at spending a few extra dollars on getting it tuned properly. And as this bike owner for this bike, I am going to do just that. So more to follow on the Ozone Gira, and we'll leave it from there.